23rd of March 2022. And I'm happy to be on here today. Sorry that I have not been on here for about 2 weeks. We've had some technical difficulties last week and the week before. I was unable to come due to some personal reasons. I'm happy to be back. Before we had the break, I was discussing 25 goals for couples to follow in 2022 when it comes to relationship. And I went over the first 10. I have about 15 more to go. So with much ado, I'll be jumping into it. You are free to make comments, ask questions as we go by. I'll be reading your comments. Please tell me where you're watching from. And again, I want to extend a warm welcome to you on Focus on Liberia. This is Lady J with Sex and Relationship Conversation. Please share the video as well as you start to watch. So I want to go over the first 10 that I went over, and I'm just going to quickly go through them, and then I'm going to start from point number 11. So best goals for relationship. Number 1 was put the relationship first. 2, balance time together with balance time together with one another, and also time alone. Number 3 was make sure that the phrase in sickness and in health is used and not just said, and not just for marriage, but also for a committed relationship. Number 4 was respect your partner's love language. Number 5 was continue to grow and love, continue to learn and grow together. Number 6 was have a date night. 7 was feel each other's pain. Number 8 was say and do things for each other. And 1 second here. And number 9 was make couple friendships. And number 10 was be your partner's biggest supporter. So we're going to number 11. Be positive with each other. So when it comes to number 11, where we're starting off tonight, people can have disagreements and differences about how a partner chooses to live and things like that. But when you have to express your differences, please try to make sure that it does not damage your relationship. Because one thing I learned, make sure that you are motivating your partner more than you are throwing criticism to them. Because the more negative you be, it can have a serious effect on your partner, because you're the one that they listen to first and foremost. So if you're not positive with them and you're, saying damaging things to them, it can really hurt them. And the primary mode of communication between partners should be kind and positive. That should be your primary mode. You should be kind, you should be positive. When it comes to saying things, think about kind of like what your partner would love to hear from you when they are irritated, versus saying things like, I told you so, I told you not to do this, you're such a loser, and things like that. Because kind of statements like this does not help a relationship and does not keep a relationship positive. So try to be positive with each other when it comes to relationship goals. Our next point 12, maintain physical intimacy. So when it comes to physical intimacy here, we're talking about to be not like, physical intimacy when it says, oh, we're going to be in a bedroom and stuff like that. Intimacy. It's important to understand that, when it comes to physical connection, it has to be available in your relationship. So even though something can be gained through touching and being close to your partner, cuddling, for example, has proven to release this um, this thing in our body called the oxytocin. And what the oxytocin does is it helps us to feel better and to handle stress better. So when you and your partner cuddle, oxytocin is there to kind of like calm us and help us handle stress better. So you have to strive to make sure that when it comes to physical intimacy, it's not neglected in your relationship. You know, touching each other, and then the next thing you guys are doing or having sex because you're aroused by your partner. No. Cuddling is just holding that person, that person's holding you. And as I said, it releases oxytocin in your body, which helps calms you and, make you feel less stress. So make sure that you guys are doing stuff like this because it really helps that physical connection. Number 13, less texting. So, in a Birmingham University study, they said texting could sometimes cause a disconnect within a relationship, which I agree to. But this is a study, so it's not like to say someone hypothesis that they're just opening their mouth and talking about it, say, oh, don't text. But they did a study on this, and they found out that the difference between the difference is people feel disconnect by when there's a texting going on between people. So, for example, maybe you're rushing and you get a text from your baby, from your sweetheart that says, so, babe, how was your night? And you can't really, maybe you're driving or you're just like rushing, and then you just say good, and you don't say anything like yours or anything like that. That person might feel like you're, trying to brush them off when that's not even the case. You are thinking about them, but you're just busy to really typing those words. So, women feel disconnected whenever their apologies or differences work out through text. And with men, they feel disconnected whenever texting is too frequent. So this is what this study found. So interestingly, it is found that texting expression of affection enhance relationships. And overall, it is good to do your best to make sure that your conversation with your partner is outside of texting. So it's really good that texting is not like your number one or primary mode of communication, because if that's the case, there is a huge disconnect right there, because texting doesn't really convey the message that you might want to say. If you're saying it, for example, if you want to tell somebody, I love you, when you text and say, I love you, I love you, they just read it. But when you say it, I love you, you're putting emotion into it. You're putting something in it. You're putting some oomph into it. So at least when you say I love you, that person can hear it in your voice and know that, oh yeah, this my partner really means this, versus texting, I love you. It's kind of like dry. So less texting, it's advisable when it comes to your mode of communication. Number 14, have communication about your relationship. So as time passes by, emotions change. You guys do know that, right? So we have I call it in Ghana, we call it the mind of water darling, relation phrase, face in a relationship. Mind of water darling, face. This face here is that beautiful first 2 to 3 month phase where you and this person meet and you guys are overly so in love, and nothing this person says can ever like make you upset. Nothing they say can make you upset, and what you say, it's the everything. But as time goes by, these change. The reason why the Ghanaians say mind of water darling is because For those first 3 months, if you guys were passing near the gutter, I don't know, people that live in Ghana knows that there's a lot of drainage, of gutters around the place, and sometimes they don't have the coverings over it, so people have to like jump over it. So when people start a new relationship, the man would jump over first, and then he would turn around and throw his hand out to his partner, and let the partner hold his hand so that she can jump over. And whilst he's doing that, he would say, "Meine Gott, darling." But as time passes, after 3 to 6 months, when they reach to that same quarter, instead of him doing the same activity that he did before by turning around to her, holding on his hand so that she can jump over with his assistance and saying, "Mind go to darling," it becomes a different situation. Now he's like, "Jump over the gutter, darling," or "Jump over the gutter." So as time passes, thoughts evolve, emotions changes, and people can become a little different because it's time. So as a result, you and your partner are individually growing in a relationship, in life, and that can also cause changes to your relationship. So you two may decide that there is a new or different thing that you want out of your life, and it can be from anything as job, as your place of domicile, anything. So it's very important that when times are changing in your relationship, you guys discuss it and find ways and means that your desires that you have can be fulfilled. You have to talk about it. So you have to check in with each other every time to make sure that this person feels an overall satisfaction in the relationship. They have to also find out from you if you feel an overall satisfaction in the relationship. And you have to keep discussing this so that everyone feels comfortable. And when the need arises, that discussion needs to come out again. So we have this gynecologist called Carl Pelmel, and he sought out about 700 individuals with 40 years of marriage experience. And the top advice that he had after he did this research with 700 individuals who had over 40 years of marriages, he said couple need to learn how to communicate with each other. Couples need to learn how to communicate with each other. So older marriage people or couples said open communication was the key when it came to solving their marital problems, most of their marital problems. And even those whose marriage didn't last said the main cause of their lack or the main cause of the marriage not lasting or failing was lack of communication. So we got communication, communication, communication. Number 14 states have conversations about your relationship. I want to go deeper into this number 14 because there's a huge disconnect when it comes to our community and number 14. A lot of times you've been in a relationship with someone and you have a problem with the person. Instead of you calling the person your wife, your girlfriend, your fiancée, and talking to her, you rather go sit down and talk to Manjebe. "Oh, Manjebe, Jessica did this, Jessica did that, Jessica did this." Manjebe, who has not even been married before, now becomes your counselor. So we have Manjebe now saying, Jessica needs to come see her and the husband needs to come see her so that they can tour the plow. Now Manjebe going to invite all my friends in, and they're going to come sit down from 6 p.m. in the night talking about the unhealthy relationship between Jessica and her man And at the end of the day, somebody gonna say, "Oh, Jessica, you wrong, or the man is wrong. This. You need to say sorry. This. And then these people gonna go back to their homes, and this problem will never be fixed because you have invited outsiders in the relationship instead of having a conversation with each other." I don't know if you guys kind of see where I'm going with this, but it's important. It's very important to have those conversations one-on-one versus going to tell my chepe, the sister, the father, the mother, everybody else, but the couple gets a say in the relationship. And most of the people don't even have the best relationships in their private lives. So why would you be talking about your relationship to them? It's mind-boggling. We gotta move on to number 15. Number 15, seek therapy from time to time. Even couples who feel that they are happy can benefit from learning tools that help them function better as a couple. So, marriage and couple therapists can provide both partners with knowledge based on years of research and experience of what works. This is what I was talking about in 14, but instead of us looking for the real therapist, we'd be looking for Matt Japan. A University of California study found that therapy can help married couples if both partners have the desire to want to improve the marriage in the marriage. Consider pursuing therapy to help maintain the emotion and mental wellness of your relationship. You know, this is very important because one person in a marriage might want to be to go into this therapy, but if the other person feels that therapy it's not recommendable and that we can solve this, before you know, you guys are sitting on the divorce bench because one person wanted to go and the other person did not want to go, and that can be a little disturbing, to the relationship because that person that don't want to go can have so many reasons why they don't want to go, and that's a huge red flag when it comes to if there's an issue in a marriage and somebody does not want to seek therapy. Number 16, don't be too competitive. So whether it's one partner making more money or another partner finding more success in life, you guys got to be sure that your relationship does not become a competition. So when your partner gets exciting news in life, that news should also be exciting to you. So beyond achievement in life, don't make your relationship a competition of who does what work or who does most work, or there will be moments where you have to kind of like keep things going one moment and the other partner has to do a little more. When it comes to relationships, the most important thing is when a partner comes to make sure that they are there for each other equally and there is no competition. That helps the relationship a lot. If somebody needs a push, give them a push in a relationship, especially when you guys are in a committed relationship. Ladies, don't just be like, oh, you're the man of the home, so at the end of the day you got to do everything financially and stuff like that. No, if your man needs financial help, please make sure that you give it to him. You both try to at least keep things going. It can either be the man doing more or and the lady chipping in, or it could be equal, or if the man needs help and the lady has it, let her be there for her husband. So there should not be a competition in your relationship. And some African women, they take this to a whole nother level. When they make more than their husband and stuff like that, the whole world got to know about this. Oh, I made more than him. He made 150,000 and I make 150,000. Oh yeah, he needs to know who's the man in the home. Ladies, don't be doing that. That's belittling to your husband. If you want to marry someone, please remove competition. You got no reason to be in any competitive level or space with your partner. If you feel that he's not making that much, there is a way that you can talk to him if you want for him to make that much. Is he happy with where he is? Is there anything that you guys can do together in a business where he's going to, allot his time better for something more fulfilling for your family, for the future, versus you being competitive and telling the whole world that you make more money than your husband? That is not fair. So no competition, okay? And I really brought this part up because in our African society, in our Liberian community, this is something that you find a lot, and that is not okay. Don't support too much. That's number 17. While being a big supporter was mentioned early on as a goal, one study found out that couples can overdo being supportive. In particular, too much information, such as giving unwanted advice, is the kind of support that can cause dissatisfaction. Some people they're naggers. They nag about everything. Oh, and I know that you didn't do this, so I just want to give you some advice about what I feel you should do next and stuff like that. Don't do it, guys. If the lady don't come to you and tell you, I need you to advise me on something, and she just comes and bring an issue to you and say, oh, there's this lady at work that just irks me. She just rubs me the wrong way. But I don't know. If she didn't ask you, baby, what do you think I should do about it? Please don't stop giving us, when you go this time, just sit away from her and don't talk to her. Turn your back to her when you see her coming and this and stuff like that. Too much can cause a dissatisfaction, especially when it's not asked. So please do not give too much support that now causes a dissatisfaction, because people who do that are also controlling. The reason why they're giving these unwanted advices and things like that is because they want to control the life of the person that they are with. So desist from doing that. Let people make their own mistakes sometimes. Let them make their own decisions about what they want to do. Overall, for men, it's important that the right kind of support was provided as needed when it comes to emotional, informational, self-esteem, tangible support. For women, it is just important that some kind of support is provided. Researchers kind of suggest that your partner will, your partner will ask you when they need you to support them. So don't make it overbearing. Number 18, share household chores. So a new research study found out that the more half of married couples believe sharing household chores was important, the marriage became happy. So both partners are doing equal share of the work in the household, and this prevents anyone from feeling that they're doing everything alone. No matter what has to be done, the important thing is it needs to get done so that it's no longer a burden. When fewer burdens can help lessen the stress and allow more potential for happiness between you two. I know we come from a different society that says the woman is supposed to do most of the work in the house. She got to make sure that she cooks. She got to make sure that she cleans. She got to make sure that she, do the laundry and all those things. But this is studies that have shown to share household chores. So, I mean, in Liberia, it's different where people have a house help. Most families that can afford it have the house help, and the house help does these duties for the family: clean up the house, cook the food, wash, the clothes and stuff like that. But in the States here, it's kind of different because most mothers are not sitting home, most fathers are not sitting home. Both parties are working. So in a different situation as ours in the States here, where the things are a little different, we have to make sure that we help men. We have to make sure we help in the household, and it can be just something little to take that burden off that woman, where she does not come from work and then she just can't put her foot up because she has to do everything. You just sitting there, either flipping channels or on Facebook, watching one live after another, laughing, drinking, listening to music, talking on the phone with your friends, and not doing everything. So different communities have different responsibilities, And in this community, we live in a diaspora. You have to make sure that you help share household chores and responsibilities that go on in the household. So, whichever way that you guys can do it because nobody wants to be burdened with a lot of different things that they could, you know, like have a partner help them with. Number 19, this is of all the goals, I love this one so much, and this is why. Pray for your partner. Studies have found that praying for your partner can actually lead to a long lasting relationship. This relationship strategy is formed to help partners have more compassion for each other. And you know, this is most beautiful. This is the most beautiful goal that I feel. Pray for your partner. And nobody else has to hear, the partner don't even have to hear, but you gotta pray for your partner because that is like a selfless act where you are then asking God, you are my partner, you know, you as the person going out with this person or married to this person kind of know their weaknesses and the things that you know they're good at and things that they're not good at, and you're praying for your partner. That is important. Let's try to change the narrative of our relationships when it comes to being disrespectful, being unloving, being negative, and us being more respectful, more compassionate. And when it comes to praying for our partners, that is so important. Men pray for your wives pray for your husband, and you know, people that are in a committed relationship, men pray for your women pray for your men. That is very, very important. And this is one of my best. Number 20, make yourselves happy. So while your partner can bring happiness to your life, it is very important that we make our own happiness as well. So both partners should do their own work when it comes to creating individual happiness. The happier you are with your own life, the happier you can help make your partner happy as well. It's important. You know, I know some people be like, oh, you know, me and my partner are inseparable. We do everything together. And so let's say you and your partner used to like skiing together, or you used to like maybe having walks, and all of a sudden the partner don't like having walks anymore, and you enjoy having walks. So what are you going to do? So you got to find your own happiness, things that you like to do. They have to find their own happiness that they like. So just in case, you know, you guys are apart, you're not going to be so sad that this person it's not around you. Maybe they went off, you know, for work, you know, or work related program that takes them away for some time, and you know, you guys usually go to the movies, but you don't really like going to the movies. You just do it because your partner does it. So you're gonna be unhappy the whole time because you don't find yourself out and your partner is not there. So make yourself happy, okay? The Ghanaians say, if you don't happy yourself, no one will happy you. And I really agree to that statement. If you don't make yourself happy, no one's going to make you happy. Stop comparing your relationship with TV relationships. That's number 21. Researchers found that people who believe the unrealistic portrayals of relationship on TV were less committed to their spouses. Chose to think of a relationship as more of a realistic way. So perhaps it might be helpful not to watch TV as much so that you can focus more on creating a type of relationship that you both desire. So a lot of times, you know, we see people wanting to go with what these TV relationships are. And we know these things are unrealistic. I mean, I'm a writer and I do my own movies and stuff like that. And I, you know, direct and acting some of the movies that I do write. And as much as I might want to make it realistic, sometimes I have to put some unrealistic factors or, you know, facts, information in there so that it becomes entertaining. So now, if I went and put something together and you know, this movie was acted and released, and someone decided, oh, I like the way this movie went, and I like the way these people were in this relationship. It's not realistic. So because it's not realistic, wanting to do it or go with it is not okay. So stop comparing your relationship with TV relationship. Sometimes I hear couples saying, "Oh, why you can't treat me like the way this character is treating her husband?" They are acting. It's not real. So let's try stop comparing our relationship with TV relationships. Number 22, be true to yourself. An Ohio study concluded that the more people were true to themselves, the better their romantic relationships were. Romantic partners should work on continually striving to act in a way that is consistent with their beliefs. Strive to communicate more with honesty and truthfulness. This is a really deep statement when it comes to people being true to themselves because we live in a world where we try to be who we're not, and sometimes we get to that point of doing it so well that we lie to ourselves, you know? And if you can't be true to yourself, trust me, how can you be true to the person that you're with? And that person you're with gonna see this because they'll live with you if they live with you or they're with you. So you have to try to be true to yourself. Speak your truth, your truth. Whichever way that truth comes out, that's your truth. Speak it. But a lot of times people are not true to themselves, and it causes a lot of setbacks when it comes to the relationship. Because if you're not true to yourself, then you're not going to be true to nobody. If you lie to yourself, of course you're going to lie to your partner. Simple things. Where did you go last night? Oh, I was with my boys when you were actually not with your boys. Where were you the other day? Oh, I was at my friend Masa's place, and you were not at your friend's Masa's place. But you've become so used to lying and not being honest with yourself that the lies that come easily rattling from your mouth as if to say you were being honest. So try to be true to yourself. That's the best thing you can do to yourself. You can lie to everybody, but you must never lie to yourself. Number 23, use Facebook less. I know because I'm a big corporate of this one. The University of Missouri Columbia study found that excessive Facebook use can damage romantic relationships. It was due to the increased likelihood of Facebook-related conflicts, which led to negative relationship outcome. So people need to try to make sure that they use Facebook less. A lot of us are addicted to Facebook, including myself. Like being a media person, I mean, I can't get off of there. News come, I gotta put it up, and it's nice to also see what people gotta say after the news comes up. I might choose to respond. I might not choose to respond. I enjoy sometimes when I put jokes up on my page and people, come there and laugh about it because a lot of times we live in a sad world where a lot of people come to be sad. So it's gonna be hard for me. I don't know about you, but people are hooked to Facebook. So make it more objective for you and your partner when it comes to social media. And one of the authors of the research also noted that it reduces the changes of partners reconnecting with former partners on Facebook. So right there, when it comes to they use Facebook less, this is the reason that they gave. Number 24, use cell phone less. Research from Baylor University concluded that cell phones can damage relationships, romantic relationships. So it was found that more than one person's cell phone use interrupt, times together when people are having their mean time with, the honey, the sweetheart, the baby, and a phone call will come and interrupt it. And the person that is not receiving a phone call might be unsatisfied in a relationship when that happens often. So when you and your partner spend time together, make sure that you have time to put your phones off and just spend time. It's not okay for someone to take you on a date or for you to go out and the only thing that you are doing 24/7 is being on your phone. You're just on your phone 24/7. Only God won't know what you're doing on that phone and stuff like that. And It's you're on a table full of people, or you're on a table with your partner, and all you're doing is on your phone. You're on your phone. You're on your phone 24/7. It's not okay. It's not okay. So people need to take time when you're with your partner, set the phones off or just put it aside. And, with your phone off, you can give each other that undivided attention so you can talk to each other and be able to connect. It's important to connect to your partner in a relationship because that connection, once it's created, it's hard to be broken. Number 25, make sure you're both getting sleep. So, a study at our University of California, Berkeley found that a sleepless night can worsen lovers' fights. Sleepless night increases the frequency of conflicts. Partners feel more negative towards each other during these conflicts. This experience was common even when partners who typically slept good didn't sleep good. So do your best to make sure you find ways to get better sleep, and this will really, really help your relationship. That's number 25. So find time to get your little 8 hours so that you don't feel crunchy and things like that. Final thoughts on relationship. Much research has shown that when couples are happy, it benefits their overall well-being and may even increase the longevity of life. So it's in every couple's interest to do what they can do to improve their relationship. So we come to the end of this, and hopefully these suggestions, that I have given or this study has given will help. Feel free to come up with your own objectives that can uniquely help you and your partner become happier together. But these are, as I went over 2 weeks ago and today, the 25 relationship goals for couples to follow in 2022. Now I'll be going on to the questions here that people might have. I enjoyed it. I'm going to take away some, and let's look into couples let's look into the comments. I haven't been looking at any of the comments because I want to make sure I get through this. So, hi Esther Connie, how are you, darling? Hello, Hashmir Fabula. How are you? You're watching from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Rosetta, watching from the US. Thank you, Rosetta, for joining the podcast. Emmanuel said he's watching from Dover, Delaware. How are you, Emmanuel? And Dr. Kassa is sleeping in jail tonight. You're here talking about sex. Okay, well, I'm sorry that this is your comment. I'm sorry that your political leader is in jail, but life must go on. Hashmi family. If you always motivate your partner and your partner have different attitude towards you, what do you do? Well, if you always motivate your partner has different attitude towards you, you have to look into what it is that they are doing, and that different attitude is a negative towards you. And if it's negative, you have to try to find a way to correct it. If you cannot correct it, I will recommend that it's not good. So you have to talk about it, and if it's talked about and it's still not taken care of, then you have to kind of advise yourself as to if this is something that you can endure or not. And if you cannot endure, then you have to decide what's the next step. Mamadou, I'm watching from the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. Thank you for watching, Mamadou. Mr. Famla say if the man is not doing nothing at all, if the man is not doing nothing at all, if the man is making the money and he don't care but supporting another home. This one is deep and it's a unique situation. And if the man is doing that, then that's a sad situation that must be addressed. Because if he's supporting another home, that means that it's a situation that has to be look into it deeply, and then you have to make up your mind as a woman, or the woman has to make up her mind which way she want to go with this situation at hand. Mickey, interesting topic, and I appreciate the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time as well. Thank you for being on here. Brian Brown, Lady J. What's up, Brian? B Square. You can also call as well. The number is on here. If you do want to call, and you can call and give your contribution in regards to what was said or something totally different. At this time, we don't have a script, and you can just go ahead and say. So the number to call is 605-313-6004. Code is 719403 #. So you can give us a call if you want. Any other comments? Oh, we don't have a lot of comments today, huh? I haven't been looking at the show because I want to kind of like concentrate on making sure I have to get through this. Brian Brown, Jessica, how you doing? I'm doing well. You? I'm doing really well. What else we have for comments? All right. So again, if you want to join the conversation, you can call 605-313-6004. It'd be nice to hear someone's voice. A code to call in would be 791-403 #. Give us a call if you want to join the conversation pertaining to the relationship goals that we discussed today. Because with these relationship goals, I've learned a couple of things that I'm going to be running with when it comes to being in my relationship. And most of the things that were discussed here today were things that people had done a research for. So it wasn't, as I said, just someone coming up with their little hypothesis or their little theory that, oh, I think this is what it's supposed to be, and don't do this and don't do this. And this is, they are like principles that people, these are things that people have like studied and come up with these different, information that we can use to really strengthen our relationship. The last part I like is said, the well-being of, a person depends on a relationship is very, very true. Because who do you get up to in the morning? Your partner. Who do you say good night to in the night? Your partner. So when you are at a place where that relationship is not going well and there is a boatload of negative things happening, guess what? It's going to affect you. And it's not going to affect you in the right way. And so you see a lot of people going through a lot of stress, which can become chronic, which can lead to depression because they don't have a good relationship. So if you don't want to be in a relationship, I will advise you to not get into one. But if you must be in a relationship, I do advise that you treat your partner with care, because that person is vulnerable to you. They've opened their arms to you. They've opened their whole self to you. This is the person that you make love with. This is the person that you make decisions with, and all those things. So when it comes to relationship, you have to be positive in your relationship, or else there's no need for you to be there. I know a lot of people are in relationship based on convenience. I'm with him or I'm with her because of the support, or because of the kids, or because of, whatever it is. I love this person, but this person don't love me. You really have to find a way to balance it out, or just get out. It's not worth it. I think I saw a comment there from someone. Yeah, if you have a partner that's in the habit of cheating, It can be very, very sad because most of the time, if you're not cheating and that partner is cheating, it can be very, very sad. Um, Nobody wants to be in a relationship where the partner is leaving their intimacy and going out there to be with another person. Sometimes you might want to sit with this person and kind of like find out why they're doing these things if they will admit to it, because there are some partners that will never admit to it. Sometimes you got to catch them in the act before they admit to it. They will never admit to it. So if you have that kind of person, you have to catch them in the act before they admit to it. And even when you catch them in the act, some of them don't even care. Cheating is not a good thing. It can bring diseases in your relationship. It can bring a whole lot of hurt in your relationship. It makes a person feel, it makes a person have low self-esteem, especially when, they're wondering, what's wrong with me? Why would my partner want to leave the home and be with another person, or want to leave my bed and be with another person? That is a really, really hard thing to deal with in a relationship. So if that's something that's going on and it's been going on for a long time, you have to advise yourself on what you feel you must do. Don't be complacent with such a thing in your relationship, because that's not good. It's not good for your health. Let me see. There's this comment that I'm not going to respond to, just because it's better to leave certain things unsaid. Any other comments that I might be able to address? Any other comments that I might be able to address? Yep, it's hard. Relationship is not the easiest thing to be in. You have to make sure that you're nurturing your relationship every day. It's like a flower, it's like a plant. You have to put water on it every day for it to grow and become what you want for it to be, or what you and your partner wants for it to be. And in order for it to be like that, there needs to be um, a mindset of understanding between both partners. It cannot be one person striving to, want the relationship to be a certain way. It has to be a two-way street. Both people have to be like, yeah, we want to, in the next 3 years, this is what we want to see our relationship. In the next 10 years, this is what we want to see our relationship. We want to have kids. We want to be able to maybe do a business, build a house, or do certain things. So both parties have to be on the same page. And in order for people to be on the same page, you need to nurture and grow in your relationship. You cannot be stagnant and reach those goals or milestones in your relationship. You're welcome, Camion. Yeah, it's something that you need to continue to do. Uh, Nurture your relationship is important, and because life has become such an show an array of show on Facebook and everything, or in like our communities. A lot of times, people expect to see to know, but there are sometimes that the fact that you're not seeing doesn't mean that something is non-existent. Some people choose to live private for a reason, especially in this our Liberian community. Some people choose to live private because of certain unscrupulous individuals in the community. So if you feel you need to be private in your relationship, don't rush to bring it on social media. Social media is not a prerequisite of a successful relationship. It's never been that way, and it never will be. So if you feel that your relationship should be private, please continue to keep it private. Don't rush to bring it out here. Sometimes a relationship needs to be nurtured. It needs to grow. It needs to have a foundation before you bring it out there for all the evil eyes and all the good eyes to be able to see. Because especially in our community, not everybody like to see good things. Some people, as soon as you bring your relationship up, they jump into your main DM to go and tell stories, or they jump into your woman DM to go and tell stories and stuff like that about you. But if you have a solid relationship, nothing that's said between the both of you will unravel or shake your relationship or bring anything bad because you guys have a good foundation. But if you don't have a good foundation, you just start talking yesterday and the next thing, oh, me and my boo, we on Facebook and stuff like that. Sometimes it's not the best thing to do. So be careful how you exhibit that some things that are important to another person might not be important to you. A lot of times people don't know that. Somebody might think, oh, I must work very hard to get about 5 to 10 red bottom shoes because red bottom shoes is something that I want. And somebody might be like, well, that's good. I must work very hard to put a land down in Liberia to build a house on because that's important to me. So, what is important to you should be your truth, and that's what you should make sure you search for. Don't ever go looking into people's interests and think or let the society pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do because this is what is expected. There is nothing expected but for you to be a good citizen in the country that you live in and to be a good impact to your family. That is what is expected, not to show off for other people to see. Well, you guys didn't come up with any phone calls. I really wish I could have talked to somebody. Let me see if there is anything else here. What are examples of positive relationship treatments and nurturing? Great question. So, positive relationship treatments. One of the first things that I would recommend as a positive relationship treatment is respect. When somebody exhibit respects in a relationship, it goes a long way. And I feel respect is even more than love because love comes first and it has to go away in time, especially when you start getting used to each other, it changes. What takes place is commitment. So when you are in a relationship with a person and you respect them, when you go out there and somebody try to talk to you, the positive thing to do would be to let a person know that I'm sorry, but I'm in a relationship. You are not only respecting yourself, you are respecting your partner. Talking to that person and going further with sleeping with them is disrespectful to you and your relationship and your partner. So, one of the most positive things that you can practice in your relationship is respect. When it comes to nurturing, nurturing has to do with seeing how best the relationship can grow. We all know we have different attitudes when it comes to how we were brought up. We got different beliefs, we got different perceptions, and things like that. Nurturing a relationship for the relationship to grow would be being able to listen to your partner when they say something like, for example, I notice you're a very nice person, but you have a quick temper. If that partner tells you that, they're not saying it sometimes because, or 100% of the time, because they want to criticize you. Some people are saying it because maybe they love you and they want to make sure that your relationship is better. So, as a person, what would you do? Based on you hearing that feedback from your partner, you'd be like, okay, well, I have to, work on it. You might not say it to the person, but you have to work on it. When you start to change for that in that relationship and not be too you know, quick tempered. You are nurturing that relationship to grow because now you are doing something that was told to you and you are withdrawing that bad behavior and replacing it with a positive behavior. So that's how you can practice something good in your relationship and grow your relationship. So that's kind of, what it is. But we have come to the close of this show. I just want to take this time to say thanks to everyone who joined in tonight to listen and to, put their little thoughts here and ask questions. Ms. Fabulette, thank you so much. You're one of my active participants tonight. I want to shout out to you to say thank you. Um, Mohammed, I will answer your question next week. We've come to the end of the show. Ms. Famula, I will answer your question next week as well. Please come early so that we can have more time to be able to have these deep conversations. Next week, I'll see how best I can start with another topic, and you can still bring these questions back on next week. I want to again say thank you to Focus on Your platform. Thank you to all the guests that came on tonight. I appreciate your time, and I will see you next week. This is your girl, Lady J, and I'm signing out.
We are.